Hello and welcome to Gate 58 and happy Christmas. Today, the 25th of December at 4:38, Santa is hooking his sleigh up to the sun and moving it into Gate 58, the joyous, the gate of vitality. At this point in the sun's cycle around the wheel, we move into root center season. Today we have the 58th gate, which is grounded in the root gate 52. And then we have gate 38, grounded in the root gate 39. And after that, we go into the 54, another root gate grounded in the root gate 53. We have a few days break when the sun moves up to the head center into the 61. And then we come back to the root for gate 60, gate 41, and gate 19. So that's all the root gates covered one way or another over the next 5 weeks. That's a lot of pressure to have around at this time of the year. And that's why it's so important, really, not to go ahead and make your New Year's resolutions yet. Wait. Just wait for this pressure to do its job. When things are under pressure, they mutate. There's a real opportunity here for change, for reflection, for going within. You know, there's a journey that you can make as we transit these gates. And I'm offering this in a series of videos, 3, maybe 4. I haven't quite sat down on that one yet. And I'm offering it to the RaveFest community to guide through these transits. And they are a sort of a precursor to the talk I'm giving on the 21st of January on gate 60. But I'm going to offer it to everybody because it's important information and it should be there. So if you would like to join me, it will be slightly different from the way I do the overview because it's going to have that skew on it. It's going to have a perspective on, okay, why this gate at this time of the year? How do we use this for our own internal process? How do we tap into the energies that we are subject to? So that's something that is coming up that you can look out for. And because we have the root center so well represented over these weeks, the wonderful Surrender Kut has given me another of her poems to read. She has gifted that to all of us, really. This one is specifically about the root center, and I will read that at the end of this overview. So, shall we get to it then? Let me share my screen and I will show you, share. Okay, I'm pressing share. There we go. Share, it's on strike. So let us look. Today we can see from the mandala here, we can see the sun is moving into gate 58, the gate of aliveness, the joyous. It is in the root center. It is pointing to its harmonic gate, which is the 18th gate in the splenic center. The channel is at the channel of judgment. Gate 18 is work on what has been spoiled. It's the gate of correction. And we have the channel of judgment is a design of insatiability. And it is grounded in that root gate 52, the gate of inaction, keeping still mountain. So above the lines, it says stimulation is the key to joy. The 58th gate is the gate of aliveness. It is the deepest spark that exists within the logical process and carries within it at its very foundation truly the most beautiful of all lines. It is this essential quality in the 58th gate, the spark that is there, the electric vitality. This truly is a gate of vitality, the vitality to perfect life. There's nothing more magical than this pressure that's there in the 58th gate, the pressure to perfect the life process, to perfect the pattern, to perfect our survivability, to perfect our process. All of that is rooted in this 58th gate. And this is a pressure gate. The root center is a pressure center and a motor. And it's a gate that exudes a tremendous amount of pressure, and it needs to be able to release this pressure, this vitality. It needs to be able to do this through work that is correct for it. The harmony to the 58 is the 18th gate at the other end of the channel, which is an awareness gate. This is a gate that is afraid of authority, and so it challenges authority in order to perfect the process. And not everything that the 18th gate wishes to challenge deserves the energy to do the job. But there are some things that are of benefit to the collective as a whole. And within the 58th gate is the magical power to be able to provide precisely the energy and resources necessary for the logical process of correction and ultimately perfection to take place. The first line in the 58 is so delicious. It is called the love of life. And the line reads, "The very stimulation of the world is the basis of an aesthetic appreciation of its beauty and wonder, alone or shared with others. This profound inner realization is the key for joyous harmony with the process of being, the energy which fuels the love of life." And even the detriment, which is lunar, it says, "There are its phases and moods that will limit the joy to an intermittent and cyclical experience, a cyclical energy which intermittently fuels the love of life." Intermittently, but it's always there. This wonderful capacity, this power to infuse into the logical process a true love for the work of perfecting the pattern. Everything about logic is the perfection of the pattern, and it is only here that we find the ideal energy. If you have the 58th gate in a defined root center, there is always a consistent potential to provide the vitality for the corrective process. Always. It's always there. And the real dilemma, if there is to be a dilemma, is about discernment. What to bring that energy to. And it's not an intellectual discernment, but it's a discernment that's going to be rooted in your strategy and authority, so that that wonderful vitality is used correctly, that it's used for the correct purpose. The undefined root center is very impatient. It's always in a hurry to get rid of the pressure. And so this can be a very uncomfortable phenomena to have the 58th gate and this wonderful vitality, and yet at the same time, the moment that the root center gets defined and conditioned from outside, there's this almost frantic need to unload this energy, to get rid of the pressure. And in doing so, so often people who carry the 58th gate in an open root center give their vitality to the wrong things. And this, of course, is a dilemma in the logical process, because it is a circuit that is starved of manifesting energy. Logic is deeply in need of the perfection of the use of its resources. And this is determined by those who carry the 58th gate. If they're correct, the whole logical process and the whole benefit of the logical process for humanity is ensured. We are on the left side of the root center here, as you look at your body graph. This is the splenic side. Here is where we find the original pressures that fuel our most basic awareness. The splenic system is the most fundamental awareness, our first awareness, our spontaneous existential awareness, our health system. Now, when you look at the splenic system in the capacity of our immune or lymphatic system to keep us clean, to keep us alive and healthy, the three pressures that exist between the root and the splenic center, they take on enormous importance to the well-being of what it is to be human. These connections have a tremendous impact on our health and our well-being. The splenic center is our body's washing machine, but it is not a motor. And in order to function, the immune system has to be energized. It has to find something to plug into. The primary and most natural fuel is from the root. The three channels connecting these two centers are by their very nature healthy, but at the same time, difficult. The channel of judgment is a design of insatiability. It is not satisfied in the now. Its mundane nature, its criticism and relentless dissatisfaction often gives the mistaken impression of its value and importance. Gate 58 is the fuel for the stream of taste and is literally the zest for life and the energy. This is the key. It's that energy for a better life. Criticism is a natural byproduct of this improvement energy. Logic is a very critical circuit. Betterment is founded on both social and moral conditioning. This gate is the vitality to challenge that conditioning and improve upon it. The logic process is starved for energy. We have come across this notion before, and you might wonder why, given that the sacral and the root are part of this circuit, and they are both motors, of course. But it's because of the relationship between the gates of the throat and direct access to motors. And logic doesn't have any of those. There is no direct logical access between the 3 logical throat gates and a motor. All the channels have to go through another center in order to connect up the fuel and the expression or the manifestation of the logical process. So it slows logic down. The 58 is grounded by the 52. Together they make up half of the right angle cross of service. And the other 2 gates are also logical gates, the 18 and the 17. So if you're born under this cross, you automatically have a channel between the 58 and the 18. This is a cross that is here for the service of the totality, the service of the collective. And in this cross are the 2 root pressure gates of the logical system, which means that this energy that is there is for the logical process. It must be of service to the collective. And being of service to the collective does not mean that you are of service to the tribe or the individual. Doesn't mean that at all. It means that you are of service to the collective, which is impersonal. Being of service to the collective does not necessarily mean that it's going to be appreciated by the individual or the tribe. The headline says, stimulation is the key to joy. Oh, every time that the 58 can fuel an experiment, can challenge authority, that leads to an experiment then that is going to bring great joy. It says, use me, use me. This is an energy that wants to be used. There's no negative connotation there. Use me to challenge authority so that we can start a new experiment. This is what it wants. Use me to make the pattern correct. This is what its energy wants. This is where the joy for life is. This is where the aliveness and the vitality lives. The 58th gate provides a unique energy. It is the energy that permits repetitive experimentation. And without this energy, we would never get round to testing formulas. Without this energy, we would never know for sure that a pattern is legitimate and can be of value to the totality. That's why the first line of the 58 is one of the loveliest lines in the I Ching. This true beauty of life, the real love. It's the recognition of a pattern that provides security for the totality, for the future. This is collective love as a fuel. That's what's sitting in the 58. This is the joyous. What a beautiful name for a hexagram. The vitality is the energy to experiment. It's not aware. It is the life force which is focused on providing this energy for experimentation. So the grounding through this sun's transit in gate 58 is, as I mentioned earlier, another root gate. It's another logical pressure. And it's gate 52, the wonderfully named Keeping Still Mountain. This is the gate of inaction. There is an inherent support here. Not only are both gates in the same circuit, they're in the same center, they are also, of course, in the same cross, and they lead into each other naturally. They could practically shake hands across the root center. Above the lines of the 52, it says temporary and self-imposed inaction for the benefit of assessment. a little self-imposed assessment for the benefit of, no, it's the wrong way around, isn't it? Bit of oh, it was going so well. A self-imposed inaction for the benefit of assessment is very useful when you are in the correction business. If you have an open route, you may feel a huge pressure to get on and correct something. So reining that in, keeping it still, waiting to see what happens when your route is defined, to explore whether you still feel the same pressure, to release the energy, the vitality, and to explore whether you can find the joy in this. That could be a really good grounding. I love that this combination of stillness and joy and aliveness and inaction shows up at this time of the year. They are extraordinary gates, and it feels really significant to find their energy here, to have this deep resource of joy and vitality and stillness to dig into, whilst so much of the world is going crackers or pulling crackers, maybe. So I think, what have we got here? Oh, there's a joke. Do you want to hear the joke? Let's hear the cracker joke. Why can't you tell a joke to an egg? Because it might crack up. Oh dear. All right, then. Well, we have to put this on, and I am going to read, as promised, a poem. There we go. I shall read you a poem. Try and take it seriously. It's called The Root Center, and it is by Surinder Gut. It's alive, it's powerful, and it gives enormous pressure. It can let you work like crazy. Its energy is beyond measure. It's the root that gives us the boost. It can make you start 1,000 things. It pressures you to need and feel. It gives you feet instead of wings. It's alive, it's powerful, and it gives enormous pressure. In this pressure is a place to be still and concentrate. Or it inspires you to find the spirit, or it pushes to mutate. It's the root that gives us the boost. It's alive, it's powerful, and it gives enormous pressure. To struggle for your life's purpose or find the perfect pleasure. It teaches you everything about stress. Undefined, it can make your life a mess by moving incredibly fast in endless circles, trying to resolve the pressure that never ever works. It's the root that gives us the boost. May you recognize this pressure for what it is, a simple force to allow, not meant to disturb your bliss. It's alive, it's powerful, and it gives enormous pressure. Oh yes, it's definitely the root that gives us the boost. So thank you for joining me today, for giving me some of your precious time on this Christmas day. Yeah, love yourself, love wildly, as always. Joy, vitality, I wish them all for you. Don't go making any resolutions at this time of the year. Remember the pressure that we are under because of the forces in our environment. And let's all celebrate that we can get through Christmas in one piece. Because, you know, if I'd known this when I was a child, my God, it would have made life so much easier. Thank you so much. I will see you for a first line fairly shortly, but for now, once again, Merry Christmas and go gently.